It's my great pleasure today to introduce this year's Peyton Lecture speaker. The Peyton Lecture is one of the Society's prize lectures and is awarded each year to a speaker who talks on an historical aspect of physiological research. The lecture is published each year in Experimental Physiology, and it's our great pleasure this year to have Dr. John West giving the lecture. He hardly needs any introduction. I think many of us, certainly as I did, will have first come to know him because of his marvelous textbook on respiratory physiology, which so many undergraduate courses throughout the world use. I think now it's been translated into 10 or 11 different languages, including Chinese and Malay and a number of others. So it is truly a globally appreciated text. But Dr. West began his career as a medical student in the University of Adelaide, and after completing his studies there, and I think 1 year of house officer, moved to London, where he spent about the next 15 years in the Royal Postgraduate Medical School at Hammersmith. And it was there that he began his seminal work on distribution of, or inhomogeneities of distribution of ventilation and perfusion in the lung, and the consequences of that physiologically. And at the end of his time in London, he spent a year's sabbatical in NASA with the Space Agency, and there developed an interest at the other extreme, that is, no gravity and its effects on lungs, and has continued until recently work developing the effects of gravity on lung function. He's a long-standing interest in the history of medicine, including having written monographs of that, in particular a book on high altitude, the history and physiology of high-altitude medicine. And therefore, he's a very appropriate lecture to have here today. He's very distinguished in many fields. He has hundreds of publications. He asked me to be brief, so I won't go through all of those in details, many awards and honors. And so it's our great pleasure to ask Dr. West to come up and give this year's Peyton Lecture. Thank you very much indeed.